Now then, Tigers, how are we doing? I hope we're all doing well. What a stupid question. Of course you're all doing well. Why? Because we made the playoffs! Come on! What a flipping game. What a final day. I'm telling you now, there's always drama on the final day of each league in English football. And it just so happened to be in the Championship that one particular change was the playoff spot in 6th place. Wrexham were there, they dropped out. Derby were there during the matches, they dropped out. And Hull City managed to beat Norwich City and finally get themselves back where they belong, in the bloody top 6. We beat Norwich 2-1. My God, does it feel good, especially when other results do go your way. Derby lost to Sheffield United 2-1. Thank you very much, Blades. Wrexham could only draw 2-2 with Middlesbrough. Thank you very much to the Borough for making Disney FC drop points and not have another possible promotion. Just absolute scenes. Absolute scenes. I'm kind of speechless in some way, because leading up to this game, there would have been a lot of people thinking, we've bottled it. We've bottled it. We're going up against a Norwich team who look absolutely brilliant, especially ever since Philip Clement has took charge of this club and has just been on a roll. And we've been winless in 6. There's been really not a lot of confidence. Even with Wrexham versus Borough and Derby versus Sheffield United, you think one of those two teams, one of those playoff contenders, would get something and just ruin Hull City's playoff hopes. Throughout this entire week, I have literally just been a nervous wreck. There are some things that I've been doing, like for instance, I recently watched Michael Jackson's new movie, and I still was thinking about Hull City and how this final game was going to go. I couldn't even look at social media. I honestly couldn't. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, Snapchat, you name it. I couldn't look at any of it which involved the playoff race, anything to do with the Championship or, you know, what ifs and predictions for the final games of the season. Couldn't look at anything. I was I was so nervous. And the fact that it's all paid off. Sadly, Emir Hatzimetovic wasn't there. It's all paid off, and I can actually just watch those videos and look back and either laugh at the people that didn't think Hull would get playoffs, or embrace the people that did believe in us. Talking about what happened in the match, I think the key moments is what we're really looking at here. First moment, probably when the Canaries took the lead. I'll be honest, I can't actually remember who scored, but it was a good finish, I think. Defensively, we were very shaky in the first half, and I wasn't surprised that we did concede. Pando was always alert in goal, which was good. Defence really were just giving a lot of space and a lot of gaps for the forwards to run in behind and possibly create an opportunity, which I was really worried about. And a lot of the time as well, just some players just weren't tracking back quick enough, or they just didn't look like there was a lot of communication. But luckily, straight after we did concede, we won a penalty. Joffy gets fouled inside the box after doing very well to hold on to the ball when McBurney headed it on into the box. Win a penalty. Ollie McBurney steps up. I literally didn't want anyone else but him to take the penalty. And thank God he scored. Stroked it straight down the middle, nice and gently. 1-1. And yeah, I think Norwich had maybe a good chance to win the first half. I don't know if it was like a header or something, or just a shot from outside the box on the edge of the box, which Pando saved. Wasn't any other particular chance after that. Second half was, oh my God, I couldn't even tell you how nervous I was. I think nervous is the key word here for myself personally, from the experience I had from this match. Like, I was so desperate for us to score and win the game, but at the same time, you know, you're thinking of, oh, what are the other results? And I didn't bother checking my phone, because I just thought, if I keep checking my phone, I'm gonna be having an heart attack. I don't want to look at any other score. One chance before the third goal of the match, it was a great ball in from Ryan Giles from a free kick, which Liam Miller had won. He had a great game, by the way. Giles, great delivery into the box, and it just falls straight to McBurnie, who just nicely volleys it, going towards the bottom corner with some good pace, and the keeper goes down and makes such a good stop. You can't blame McBurnie in that situation. It is just an incredible save from the keeper, and fair play to him. I mean, that save was crucial for Wrexham and Derby, that's for sure. But moments later, we had a free kick in a bit of a similar position. Louis Cole took it this time, aimed it towards the edge of the box at the far side. Tree nodded it on, and McBurnie, first time shot, hits it against the ground on the floor, past the keeper. 2-1, come on! For those that have probably seen the highlights of the game or saw a replay of it, you may have noticed that McBurnie may or may not have been offside. Does it matter? No, because there's no VAR in the Championship, so you don't need to worry about it. And then from there, it was all just about making the right substitutions, making sure we keep a lead and not mess up, because the amount of time since the return in the international break that we have not been able to keep a lead is absolutely ridiculous, and we're finally able to do it. Held on until 96 minutes, and bosh, we did it. Playoffs inbound. 2 games away from possibly going to Wembley. 3 games away from possibly gaining promotion to the Premier League. For player ratings, I'm just going to go quick fire. I don't want to dive into too much detail. There's some other stuff I want to focus on much more than the players' performance. Because to be fair, players did a great job. That you could tell they were really fighting for that spot in the playoffs. Regan Slater definitely looked the most passionate and looked the most determined for that. Full respect, and his flipping first start since that injury he picked up against Sheffield Wednesday. That bloke is made of steel. He's an absolute powerhouse. So, in goal, Ivo Pando, I'm just going to give him 7. The goal we conceded, it's not on him. Distribution was alright most of the time. There's a few times he kicked the ball which just wasn't going to anyone, but other than that, claimed the balls he needed to, especially in that last corner of the game. He claimed it. Bloody love you, Ivo Pando. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the World Cup. Croatia better play you. Louis Coyle, decent as well. I think there was some patchy moments with Coyle where they weren't really great, whether he was on the ball or sometimes when he was defending. That last moment where I think Norwich did get that last corner of the game, he flipping scuffed his clearance, so instead of it going far up the pitch, it just went behind for a corner. If that went on target, oh my god, I would have been so annoyed. And I do feel as if there's been a lot of harsh criticism on Louis Coyle recently, and I don't think he really deserves it. I know he's been poor, but don't be so harsh on the captain, man. Come on, you need to motivate your players. Don't flipping critique him to the point where you think, get out of my club, you don't deserve to be here. Coyle, it may be generous or not, but I'm going to give him a 7. John Egan did come off at half-time. I think it must have been from that sliding challenge against another Norwich player. They both collided. It looks very painful. He kept going until the half-time whistle, and he was then replaced by Paddy McNair. So, yeah, for John Egan, I'm going to give him a 7. He was solid. He was winning the headers when he needed to. There was a few times maybe he could have defended a bit better, but hey, it's fine. You did your job, John, and I'm happy for you. And I'll give Paddy McNair his rating as well, because he did come on the pitch. He was rather solid. Definitely helped, obviously, keep a clean sheet for that second half. And, yeah, there was a few times maybe, he could have done a bit better defensively when, I guess, Norwich were coming forward on the ball. But listen, I'm going to give you a 7, McNair. You deserve it. Charlie Hughes came back for the first time in God knows how long in terms of starting a match. Feels good he's back in the squad. Again, there was like that 1 or 2 patches where I thought maybe he could have done a bit better defensively, especially in the first half, but he was solid. He was winning headers when he needed to. Yeah, what a player, man. What a player. Good to see him back in the starting 11. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Ryan Giles was quite quiet in the game, especially for the first half. They were more kind of putting the ball towards the right-hand side than the left. But listen, Giles did what he had to do. Stay for the full flipping game. He did a decent job. He's getting a 7 as well. Matt Crooks looked absolutely shattered as soon as he came off the pitch. There were some passes where he just couldn't string well enough, and I think if he did, it would have created something for Hull. Just there few passes where he gave away, where it was in an area where we could have maybe gone forward on the ball and maybe created something. Defensively, didn't do too bad. Gave away a few fouls, which I think were a bit harsh to give from the referee. But I'm going to give Tree a 7 as well. Regan Slater, I'm going to give him a 7.5. I don't know if that seems too generous or not. But my God, you could just tell he was the main man on the pitch. He was driving Hull, motivated them, telling them, believe in yourselves, keep fighting, and we will find that second goal to make it 2-1, as well as telling the team to hold on and keep your heads up high and believe. And yeah, he had a great game. Defensively, he was doing well. On the ball, yeah, similar to Tree, a bit patchy in a few areas with his passing, but I don't think it was too bad. Yeah, I'm giving him 7.5. I just think he was absolutely great. He was a crucial player in that squad. He was really someone that was going to encourage a lot of the players to keep going throughout that 90 minutes or 96 minutes. Right wing was Mo Balumi. Had an underwhelming game, if I'm being honest. He wasn't as good as I was expecting. I think when he was dribbling with the ball, it didn't really beat his man very often. Yeah, his passing on an occasion wasn't great. I'm just going to give Mo Balumi a 6.5. I think, really, we didn't see as much as we would have liked to from our Algerian superstar. Joffy, I'm just going to give a 7. I think, he was just pretty good all game, to be honest, really. There was maybe a few instances where he could have tracked back better or not try to dive into tackles where, Norwich were able just to take advantage of that and go further onto the attack. But listen, Joffrey did well. He won the penalty, which was crucial to us, so respect to him for that. He did get taken off at the same time as Liam Miller, I think. I can't remember at what minute, but yeah, decent game. Going to give him a 7. Liam Miller, great game as well. Was very impactful, especially in the second half. I feel like first half he was driving forward a lot, but we seem to try and, as I said before, try and put the ball on the right-hand side rather than the left, and I feel like Miller would have really created something on that left-hand side. So I'm gonna give him a 7. No, do you know what? I'm gonna give him a 7.5. I actually think he was very impactful in this match and really caused problems. I think that Giles and Miller partnership, it just works so well, and it works well in this game. Liam Miller, our Canadian boy, I hope he's just going to start this next match of the playoff semi-final because he deserves to. Up front, of course, it is Ollie McBurney, who grabbed himself a brace. I really don't need to say much about him. Had 3 good chances. 2 of them were goals. One of them from a penalty. One of them from a great finish in the second half. The other one, it was just a great save from the keeper. He really, honestly, could have had a hat-trick. I'm going to go with... Oh, flipping heck. Do you know what? I'm feeling so positive. I'm going to give McBurney a 9. He just, he had to be there at the right time, and he was. Thank you, Superman, for delivering again. The subs, overall, I think we had Kieran Dowell, who came on the pitch, as I said before, Paddy McNair, but I've already discussed about him. John Lundstrom was on the pitch, Carl Joseph and Lewis Kumas. I was a bit annoyed with Lewis Kumas coming on, because I thought maybe we should put on another defender. But then again, it was that thing where Hull may have had to have scored another goal to make it 3-1 if Wrexham were to make it 3-2 against Borough, which luckily didn't happen. But yeah, I think Looney was alright. It was alright. He was trying to press into tackles and do what he could, really. Dowell wasn't too bad when he came on. There was a few times with his decision-making where he was dribbling too much and should have released the ball earlier. I think there was one moment where he was linked with Carl Joseph, and if he just went to the ball instead of let the ball come towards him and get tackled, maybe Hull could have created something from that. But wasn't bad when he came on. I think he was somewhat good to have on the pitch. Carl Joseph, when he came on, I wish he came on a bit earlier, of course. But, listen, did alright. Made an impact down that right wing. Wasn't really so much on the attack. It was more defending. Yeah, it was alright. Kumas, not too bad. Maybe could have been better on a few occasions. But, listen, he was there to track back when he needed to. I think subs overall, I'm going to give a 6.5. Just because some of them... They came on the pitch and they didn't really have to make too much of an impact. It was just making sure they were going to be there defensively and holding on to the victory. I didn't bother making a predictions video for this because the last 2 I did, I got spot on and there weren't wins for Hull City. So I thought, I'm going to miss out a predictions video. I'm just so stressed. I'm so nervous for this match. We're going to leave it for... another game, and yeah, thank God I didn't because we flipping won. Before I go on about our playoff semi-final next, I just want to say I think it was a disgrace from the EFL that Sergei Yakirovich couldn't have gone on the pitch for the lap of appreciation because he got that red card against Leicester City and he used that one match ban for the Norwich game. It meant that, of course, he was banned from the touchline and he wasn't allowed to be on the pitch before and after the game. Yeah, understandable, but then what about, a bit after when, you're getting your respect and you're being applauded by the fans who heavily humble you for the job you've done this season. I think that was totally disgraceful from the EFL. I don't think that's how it really should work. I mean, yeah, alright, after the full-time scenes, alright, fair enough, but then I guess the lap of appreciation is a bit after that. So surely you'd let him on after that. But hey, listen, we all love Sergei. He knows it. Anyone who criticises him or gives him absolute disrespect, you don't deserve to be supporting this club. And I think one person who deserves some recognition through this game in particular, I think it's Dean Holden. I mean, he had to step in on the final game of the season, the most crucial Hull City game of this season, and managed to help us win 2-1. Of course, Sergei would have been on the radio communicating with the coaching staff, telling them, what they needed to do. But Dean Holden, of course, has got an idea of, Sergei Ball. He knows how Hull are going to play. He's just wanting to make sure everyone is doing their job correctly and making sure we can carry out the victory, which we did. He, to me, has been such a crucial appointment as an assistant manager through his actual managerial experience as a proper manager and head coach. It's really been useful for him partnering with Sergei Yakirovich to make sure that Hull are on track and just, again, have that managerial experience, especially with him being in the Championship a lot of the time. It's very key. And yeah, as I said before, it paid off. So, Dean Holden, my hat goes off to you. Superb job. A lot of people will be questioning, should a pitch invasion have really happened? We only finished 6th place. Well, I mean, yeah, finishing 6th, it doesn't look very impressive, of course, maybe for any team. But if you're a side that have had to deal with a literal transfer ban throughout this season where you've been so limited to the players you can sign and you can't really spend your money that much, you're very limited. As well as us being heavily predicted to be relegated this season. At the start of this season or prior to that, people like Hull are going down. They're going down. They don't stand a chance because of this transfer embargo. Even with the players they have and the quality of who they've brought in, it's not going to be good enough. They're going down to League One. How much are you regretting that prediction now? There are a few that I know that have predicted that and have gone on to think, okay, you know what, fair play to Hull. We take our hats off to you. You've done a good job. We hope that you do well in the playoffs. Respect it. And then there'll be others which are just heavily salty because they really thought Hull were going down and the fact that they feel embarrassed that Hull have finished in the playoffs. Unlucky folks. Friday night is our next match in the playoff semi-final against Millwall, who finished 3rd. They were unable to gain automatic promotion because Ipswich Town won 3-0 against QPR. Oh my god. Millwall were played twice. Won 3-1 away, lost 3-1 at home. So, quite an intriguing game. Tigers versus the Lions. Whoever wins on the aggregate of the following 2 legs will go to Wembley to face either Middlesbrough or Southampton. Some game that will be Friday night. Of course, our match against Norwich was a sellout. I'm expecting that playoff semi-final to be a sellout and have a higher attendance as well. And one more thing which I will say before I end this video. To all the Hull City supporters who have backed them since the start of this season when, again, a lot of people were predicting these lot to be relegated and we knew we had a transfer embargo and it wasn't looking good for us. A lot of people really thought that the highest position we would finish is maybe 15th, if that, maybe even 18th. The factor in the playoffs, you lot have driven these players, you have driven this club to keep going and motivate them into what seemed like an impossible situation of finishing in the playoffs. Yeah, it happened, and the Hull City supporters deserve so much praise for it. Whether you've come to a few games, or you've gone to all the home matches, or you've gone to all the home and away matches, fair play to you, alright? You've done absolutely brilliant for backing the boys, putting in your support, Don't doubt the Tigers. Just believe in them. I know it's so easy to criticise the players when they've put in poor performances, but you've just got to keep supporting them and backing the lads as much as possible. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will be making a video kind of summarising Hull City season, really, before I do the playoff preview, because that will be intriguing to watch. If you haven't, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and all them playoff Tigers!